Hey everybody, welcome back to Board Game Heaven. Today I'm going to have a look at the game IceCool by Brian Gomez, published by Amigo. And this is a really fun game that has penguins in their high school trying to catch fish while being chased by a hall monitor because they're skipping their lessons. So let's have a quick look at this game and how it plays. Alright, IceCool, let's have a look at what's inside the box. Alright, so as you can see on the back, this is a big, huge kind of a arena, and this is all contained inside this box, as you will see. It's a game for 2 to 4 players, although I think it's more fun if you have 4 players. And it plays from ages 6 and up, and it's a pretty fast game, so about half an hour. Let's take a look at the components. Right, so you'll notice that these are boxes and boxes. You have the rules here, which is a pretty thin booklet in multiple languages, I hope. No, it's actually a German version that I have. But well, fortunately I can read German, so that won't be a problem. And I'll explain it to you anyway. So we have these wooden fish pieces that help keep the board together, and there are also the fishes that you need to capture by shooting your penguin through doorways. So these are the penguins, 4 different colors, and they're the wobbly kind, so as you can see, they will straighten themselves. Okay, so we have these 4 guys, and we have some cards, and these cards are meant to keep track of your score. Let me just cut that open. There. There you go. So you got these 4 to indicate which color is yours, lest you forget. So each player takes one of these, and there's a female penguin version, and the other side has the male penguins. So that's a nice touch. You all have your identity pass, also a male and a female version, and if the hall monitor catches you, they take away your pass, but I'll explain that later. And these are the cards with the points on them. So you got lots of 1-point cards, there's 2-point cards, and I believe there's also 3-point cards. And you shuffle those in a stack, and every time you score a fish, you take a card randomly, so you can score 1, 2, or 3 points. So then we have the board itself, and this is the center piece of the board, and as you can see, it's all very nicely illustrated. Lots of ice, of course, ice cubes. So the entire school is made out of big ice bricks. Here's the sport zone, arena, hall, the gym. So also pretty cool. Here's the cafeteria, and of course there's all kinds of fish there. Some art on the walls everywhere. And you're supposed to match up these dots here with the corresponding color. So this gray dot goes here, and there's a, I think it's purple, but that is not on this one. So let's have a look at this. This is the kitchen, where the cooks prepare the fish for all the students. And this has a purple dot and a yellow one over there, so that should go over there. And here is the classroom with the big school board. and the tables, and this is where you start. So let's see, this is blue, and that goes over here. There's no doorway in this side, and this goes over here. So now all the boxes together form the entire school, and then you take your fish and you can clip them on. So it also tells you where to do that. So the white ones are just for keeping it together, and you clip them over here. If you can see the white icon over there. So you simply clip it on and it fits nice and tight like that. One goes over there and another one goes over there. See, and that already holds it together quite nicely. And then you have these doors with the fish symbol above it. I don't know if you can see, but there's little fish symbols above some of the doors, not all of them. And that's where you place one of each color. So this doorway has one fish of each color. And that's where you have to flick your penguin through those doorways, and then you can pick the fish of your own color and score points. So one of them is over here, like so, and the last one is over here. So you really only need to go through, I'm missing a fish, I think. Oh, there it is. So you need to go through one of all of these three doors, well, as many as you can, of course, and the first one to do so, well, ends the round. Okay, let's go through the rules. So after you've set up the game, you give each player their color of cards, you know, so they know which color of penguin they have, and their identity cards, and each player just puts them in front of them. And then every player can have a goal, have a shot at just trying it out first. So you take your penguin, put it on the red spot here in the classroom, and you just flick him, and you just practice a bit. You know, you can shoot him around the school a bit, and then each player gets to try that out for a while. And when you're done with that, you just say, okay, so the first player, according to the rules, is the person who last saw a penguin, but you can also just blindly draw a card, and then the person with the highest number gets to start, and on a draw you try again, etc. So you just shuffle all these points, and you put them in a stack, and then you can get started. So the first player is one of the runners, one of the school penguins, the students. And all the students, every player goes first, and the last person to go is the hall monitor or the catcher. And the goal, like I said, of the students is to get through all these three doors with the fish and take their fish. Now you have to go all the way through the door, so like this, past the door, and then you can take your fish, put it in front of you, and draw a card from the stack and hide this. You just look at the number, put it in front of you, face down, so the others don't see how many points you scored. If you flick it and it gets stuck like this, so it's not entirely clear of the door, you don't get to take your fish. So you need to leave it. You have to go through all the way. So if this happens on your next turn, you just take your penguin and you can either put it on the red line here or on the other side of the door. That's your choice, and then you have to try again, and then when you succeed you can take the fish and a card. If somebody else you know, by accident bumps you through a door, then you also get to take that fish and a card, so you know, that's just lucky. And every time when you stop, like in the zone outside of the red border, then you, on your next turn, you may choose to put your penguin on the red line and shoot from there. It just makes it easier to put your hands in between. And if somebody happens to be exactly at that spot, you can just put your penguin next to them and continue. So after all three, in case you're playing with 4 players, the students have had their turn. Then the last player is the hall monitor. So the last player's goal is to tag the other penguins, so the runners, and you're gonna try to hit them. So now I'm stuck, so I can't. But if I manage to tag one of the students, I take that student's ID card. And these are worth points in the end, because at the end of a round, for each ID card everybody has, you draw another score card. So that means if you're a student and you still have your card, you get to pick an extra card. If you lost it to the hall monitor, you don't get to pick an extra card. And the hall monitor, of course, wants to get as many of these as he can before the round ends. Now, round ends when one of the players of the school students manage to gather all 3 of his fish, or the hall monitor manages to catch all the other students' ID cards before one of them gets the fish. Then the role of the hall monitor switches, and somebody else, the person on the left of the last hall monitor, gets to play the hall monitor. And so with a 4-player game you play 4 rounds, and after everybody's played the hall monitor once, the game ends, and then you take all your cards and you simply count the numbers, and the person with the highest score wins. And if it's a tie, then you just simply count the number of cards that you have, and the person with the most cards wins. And if there's still a draw, then both or all players win in a tie. Okay, so that's the basic rules. There's a couple of extra things that I should mention. If you by accident bump into the hall monitor yourself, or you shove somebody else into the hall monitor, then the hall monitor still gets to take that penguin's ID. So try to avoid that. Also, there are cards in here. The 1-point cards have an ice skate. So if you have 2 of those, you get to look at your cards that you draw, of course, before you put them in front of you. But if you have 2 of those, you can flip them over and put them face up in front of you and take another turn. Because you've got 2 skates, then you're faster, and then you can just flick again. But you have to keep those cards in the open, indicating that you've used them and you can't use them again. But you still get to count them up at the end of the round. They still count as points, so no worries there. It's just an extra way of trying to, get more fish. Now these penguins are pretty cool things, and you can just simply flick them straight on like so, and they'll just go in a straight line, of course. But you can also do some tricks with these. So if you hit them on the side like so, you can try to get them to go around a bend. And this takes some practice though. So yay! Oh, look at that! I made a full circle. So yeah, that's one thing you can do. But you can also hit them in the head. I'll see if I can do that. And then they'll jump over a wall if you're lucky. So, well, it jumped. And you can do some pretty cool tricks and try to see. Wow, there you go. So just practice with that, and you can do all sorts of funny things. Should you flick your penguin outside of the arena, then you just if I flick this one out, then I just take him back and put him in the same spot where I started, and then my turn's over. But if by accident another player hits me in such a way that I fly out of the school, then nothing happens. I'll just put myself back there and I don't get a penalty, of course. Right, so my thoughts on IceCool. Well, they're obviously, I love this game. I love this game. This is just so much fun. This is the kind of game you can play with kids, with adults, and everybody's bound to have a good time. I'm serious, this is something, if you find this, pick it up. This is a massive 2 fish up from me. And that was IceCool by Brian Gomez and Amigo. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and see you next time on Board Game Heaven.